Welcome. Welcome to the American Forked Podcast.
American Forked
The welcome
Podcast.
The welcoming podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to it.
From 6 Foot Studios.
Welcome.
This is American Forked, a podcast by some guys who grew up together. And even though we all grew up in the same neighborhood, learning good LDS values and pure republicanism, we grew up to be...
You should start over.
We grew up to be different people. We have atheists and Mormons and Scientologists and agnostics.
People that get offended.
Liberals and Republicans and non-affiliates and all kinds of...
We're adding to our collection regularly,
Yeah.
so please apply if you did not hear any of your criteria.
We're a melting pot of friends.
Who all came from the same neighborhood.
And we're mostly still friends, except for those 1-2 guys that are now not friends, I guess.
Yeah. But they're listeners, so hey, how's it going?
What up, boys? We love you both. Can't wait till you make up.
Sushi.
Are we going to start this over, or is that's it?
That
was it?
That's the intro.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd give it a solid C-.
Anyway, because we're all different people now, but
passing.
still friends, we're the perfect shining example to the world and to America of how you should be, instead of bickering over what stupid Twitter nonsense some idiot told you.
Which was probably a bot anyways.
Yeah, probably a bot. What does that mean?
I don't know. I heard it on Twitter.
Oh.
No, isn't that a big thing right now? Because we're just going to jump right into it. Elon Musk is investigating, how many accounts on Twitter are actual people and how many are robots.
Yeah, he's trying to knock his price down. I'm sure because he's got buyer's remorse from paying way too much for Twitter.
I got the buyer's remorse.
Did he actually go, is it gone through?
No, it hasn't gone through yet, but apparently still is. But he's trying to knock the price down because he wants Twitter to prove how many users it actually has.
He's basically looking under the body and going, you see that rust? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
But on a technical bot versus a subscriber terminology.
And now he's pretty much like, I don't even think this car can go over 60. And I want you to prove it to me.
He's trying to prove that it's a lemon so that he can pay very little for it.
Yeah.
But really, would you be that surprised if they came out and they're like, oh, we thought there was 100 million accounts, but really it's only 12 million. The rest are all just duplicates and bots and Russians.
Yeah, I was reading something the other day, and we'll get into this more, but someone was saying that Joe Biden has 20 million followers.
Right.
And they think that up to half of those could be bots. Something like that.
That's 50% off. That's a good deal.
Yeah. But anyway, on this podcast, we talk about the news, obviously, and true to form.
True to form.
True to form.
Mm-hmm.
We always like to throw back to the place we grew up, American Fork, Utah, to see what kind of news is going on there, which is virtually nothing, virtually all the time. But this time, I have some news that I discovered on my own.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nobody else has reported this. But the Albertsons.
Oh, my God.
Remember Albertsons?
Yeah.
It's now a Macy's.
Well, no kidding. Yeah.
Well, it was a Fresh.
A Fresh Market.
Oh, yeah. It went Albertsons to Fresh Market, and now it's Macy's.
Uh-huh.
And apparently it's a Macy's that's open on Sunday.
What?
What?
Believe it or not. Not that there's any specific reason why I know that, because I don't shop on Sunday.
You heard from
Is this
somebody.
on record for God?
Normally.
You heard from an atheist who shopped there.
I heard from a devil worshiper
Yeah.
that went there to get pixie sticks.
Exactly. No, what it really was is...
And wine.
We came home from camping on It was my father-in-law's 70th birthday. Shout out.
Word.
And we forgot to pick something up.
Is he a listener?
Yeah,
you don't want him to know those kind of
So
data.
now he knows that
You procrastinated.
He ate fruit that was breaking the Sabbath. broken.
Yeah.
Broken fruit Sabbath. Anyway, wasn't a great story, but
Your wife did mention that on the camp out.
oh, that's right.
And I said, well, the ox is in the mire, so you can go to go buy something
and see,
on
some
Sunday.
people think that the ox in the mire means if something really extreme is going on, it's okay to take care of it on Sunday.
to quote-unquote break the Sabbath.
I think what Christ was really saying was everybody does it.
That's what the ox in the mire is. Like it's like saying
Christ is peer pressuring people.
Everyone
Come
does
on,
it.
man. Everyone does it.
Well, no, because you know him and the apostles were picking corn.
I actually don't know.
Oh,
So tell me
you
the
don't
story.
remember this story? So Jesus Christ is picking corn with the apostles on Sunday. They're like walking, doing their good teaching, picking the corn, and the Sadducees and the Pharisees, they're like, look at those people, they're breaking the Sabbath. And and Christ says, well, if your ox is in the mire, do you not pull it out on the Sabbath?
Is this a Fred Meyer? What is a mire?
like the ox is stuck in the mud.
the mire.
Oh.
The mire's beef in
Whoa.
Highland, Utah.
No, I'm not
Your ox
joking.
is in there.
So
So
the
it's gonna
mire
die.
is in the mud?
Yeah,
So Fred Meyer is literally Muddy Fred?
yeah.
This is the worst name for a department store ever.
Oh, yeah, because it was named after that.
And it's a jewelry store.
Ew, muddy jewelry? Okay, so Christ is saying if your ox is stuck in the mud, like you got to go get the ox out.
Right.
Okay.
Even if it's the Sabbath.
He's pretty much saying, let's chill out about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
If Top Gun's released on a Sunday, that's basically the same
Yeah,
statement, right?
it's all right. You
Okay.
can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much like anything you want to do anytime on a Sunday.
Well, let me go
It's
back
good.
to your Albertsons turned into A Fresh Market, turned into now Macy's that's open on Sunday.
Okay.
Because that was the Albertsons that I would go to as a child to purchase my drug, which was candy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We would go down there on our bicycles, or sometimes we'll take our Chevrolets or Lamborghinis,
Yeah.
if you will, and we would take, I don't know, $1, 70 cents, whatever we had, and we would go down the
And get
aisles
like
and just,
9 Airheads with that dollar.
dude, we would. It didn't matter. I think we just looked at the most amount of sugar
Yeah.
to dollar ratio, and that's what we'd purchase.
Right.
Smarties, Pixie Sticks, Airheads.
Where did we go before that whole building was built? Where was the grocery store? Do you remember?
It's always been there, at least since I've been.
No, I remember when it was put in.
It might have been before me, because I'm pretty
Wasn't there
sure when
like
I went
an
to Forbes.
Allen's or something? And wasn't it on the other side of State Street?
Yeah.
Like over where,
There's just a Bishop Storehouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But this
It was
is
just
really
everyone ate at the church.
Yeah,
every
this
month.
is very captivating content, though, talking about where grocery stores
That's
were.
right. All right. On to some Utah news. And, oh, dang it. I had a really funny one, and then I just forgot it. I'll have to say that again.
Wasn't that funny, I guess.
Does it have to do with cannibalism?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So the Utah...
I'm sorry, I thought you said funny.
So,
Anyway, go
so
on.
the Utah County attorney, remember we talked about him before? People were kind of mad. He's being a little bit too liberal on things, like getting rid of the death penalty and stuff like that.
Right.
He's... I guess there's been some rumors out there that he's a cannibal.
Allegations, not rumors.
Allegations.
Hey, when you're a reporter, you can't laugh in the middle of the sentence.
So he's come out hard against those allegations, I think. Is the story.
He's denounced cannibalism.
He's saying that's fake news.
He asked the Utah County Sheriff to step down because he believes the sheriff who's supposedly investigating this thing is using it for political gain, because they're both up for re-election this month.
Oh, so the sheriff is saying he's a cannibal.
Well, the sheriff has said that we're investigating something that's been based on accusations, multiple accusations, that this governor of Utah County, last name Levitt, can't remember his first name, but
Mike Levitt?
no,
Mr. Levitt?
It's Brother Levitt.
Brother
Esquire,
Levitt.
Levitt Esquire. He, there have been accusations that he and his wife were involved in child trafficking and
Oh, my gosh.
murder and cannibalism back
And the
15, 20 years ago.
And the cannibalism is eating babies, right?
Yes.
I
the
knew it.
accusation.
I knew it. Right here in our old Utah County, people are eating babies.
So Levitt, attorney, Utah County Attorney Levitt guy, says that it's the sheriff is doing this for political gain. But I don't know how. Like, they're not running against each other, right? One's Utah County Attorney, the other one's a Utah County Sheriff.
Yeah, and
They must not like each other.
And I found this out recently because of some family legal stuff going on. But the county attorney has no authority over a sheriff or a sheriff's department. So if he says, ask him to step down, that's like saying, will you please?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not like he can do anything.
yeah, they're both elected officials.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Everything you guys just said sounds made up.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It
I
sure
believe any
did.
of it.
There have been 3 stories in the last 12 hours about it.
Really?
Yeah, well, because I guess it was tonight sometime or today sometime he was supposed to come out with this press conference where he was going to ask him to step down and confront the allegations against him, the attorney.
Did he come out and go, fava beans?
Like Hannibal Lecter. That's pretty good.
Like Dwight from The Office.
I
Remember when he cuts open the CPR dummy? Cuts the face off and puts it on his face.
Oh, gross.
So, on to some national news. We actually have some breaking news. 4 people have been killed during an active shooter situation at a medical facility in Oklahoma, according to reports. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we got another shooting.
For all opinions on these 3 idiots' ideas on mass shootings, please refer to last episode.
Yeah.
Okay, next story.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, though. We got another one already.
Yeah, I saw that on the way in.
They're going to be like a weekly thing now. Like, we probably should just set aside some time for this week's mass shooting every week.
Like a segment.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
on the show?
we'll go local news, Utah news, the mass
shooting news.
and then national
National.
news.
It's
Okay.
funny we're making
Light
Well,
of this terrible tragedy.
we have mentioned many times in the past that the way that we deal with serious situations is with comic relief. It in no way implies that we don't think that it's serious.
Yeah, we're kind of
Irreverent.
We don't like
handicap.
we don't like confronting
emotionally
feelings.
handicapped.
There we
Maybe
go.
that.
We don't like confronting our feelings, so we just laugh about it.
Right.
Yeah. So, but in no way are we like downplaying it or saying, that it doesn't suck, because it does.
Do you truly want to know why? I actually don't really want to discuss it because it's a super downer for me.
Oh, really? You
I
just
don't
want to
like it.
ignore it and pretend like reality isn't real and
Yeah.
just move on?
And just look for the next rainbow and butterfly.
Oh, okay. I get
No,
it.
we can talk about it. It just sucks. This was in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
The guy had a rifle. He's dead. They don't know if the report I saw didn't know if he killed himself or if the cops killed him, but.
Oh, you'd read about it already?
Yeah, I saw it on the way over here.
Oh, you were watching the news on your phone while you were driving?
And texting and carrying.
And carrying
And the
a
most
gun.
lethal weapon the whole time was me driving.
Yeah, I've never carried a gun anywhere except when we went backpacking in Yellowstone. I mean, maybe I did or didn't, but but there have been times now where I'm like, yeah, I'm going out to this crowded place. Maybe I should take a gun.
You can
Is
legally.
that weird?
That's
I don't think it's weird.
probably a legitimate worry. to
Yeah, I
have.
don't know. Seems wild.
Statistically, you're not going to need to use it.
Well,
But
well, that's the thing. It's like, even though these things are very frequent, they're very unlikely to happen to you.
that's
right?
what I was telling you. That the problem with what's going on is a 24-hour news cycle, and they make it seem like it's happening to you, and it's not. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's in, what was it called? Duluth? No, the Texas city. It's happening in Texas. It's not happening right now on your front door. So when you go to the BYU Creamery, you don't need to take your 45. Like, I'm just saying, statistically,
Oh, I know
isn't
I don't need
needed.
to take it there. but like the Walmart in Orem. Come
Oh
on.
man, welcome to the jungle.
Yeah. Seriously.
But Yellowstone makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, grizzly bears.
Like there's times when I'll go to the swap meet and I'll carry.
To
There's
the
some shady people there.
Oh, really?
Well, sometimes, or I'll carry if I feel like it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I won't dwell on this topic long, but there's so many people in the world and in our country, and there's so many guns. It's virtually impossible to predict, like, what could happen.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's why people for gun rights and personal protection would say, always carry, because you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Always carry. So that's an idea.
Yeah, but if you're always carrying, couldn't you be more likely to like accidentally shoot yourself
possible.
than actually save someone in a active shooter
Sorry, this is what they
situation?
say. Always carry, and then the other thing they say is don't be an idiot.
Don't shoot yourself.
And train. You need to train.
Yeah.
Always carry and be trained.
Yeah. I think you need to fire that firearm very regularly. Like
Yeah.
at a range, and practice.
Or use your iTarget Pro
Yeah.
laser bullet thing.
Not brought to you by that.
Oh yeah, that was a thing, huh? Where you
Mhm.
like it doesn't even shoot a thing; it just kind of tells you if you missed or not. Like
Yeah.
duck.
Yeah,
duck,
you hit the laser on the target.
like
Every
duck
time you pull
hunter.
the trigger, it shoots
Yeah.
a laser on the target.
Yeah,
And then your phone tells you how good you are.
I get it.
My phone already tells me how good I am
Well, it makes sense to
Every
me.
day mine does.
in the form of likes and comments.
And
Well-
shares and subscriptions.
To lighten it up a bit, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard,
Amber
Amber
Turd.
Turd.
Yeah.
Yep.
their trial has come to a final conclusion,
Yep.
and the result is a tie.
No, really?
Yeah.
The headline I saw said Johnny won.
So,
me too.
so Johnny Depp won. They awarded him 10 to 15 million.
Best actor. Oh,
10 to 15? I choose 15.
Well, the judge, I guess, decides that. I don't know.
Okay.
But then she also won, and they awarded her 2 million. But the
How
state,
is that a tie?
but the state that they're suing in has a $350,000 maximum. So both of them will win $350,000.
Is this California?
So it's,
Virginia.
Virginia?
apparently.
Virginia's for
So-
lovers.
So it is a tie.
Why
It's
Why would they even be suing for anything over 350 then?
He technically won. I think it's more of a like rich person's way of saying, "Haha, I won in theory." I just spent $400,000 to win 350,
I won in theory.
but a jury agreed with me in our marital arguments. So
12 people agreed that you're a bitch.
exactly. So
You pooped on my bed.
yeah. So what all happened in this? She pooped on his bed.
Yeah, what's the takeaway
What
here?
did he do? Like, why did she win? I didn't even catch that.
Because he drank a lot and maybe like they decided maybe hit her or something when he was
No,
drinking,
I
even though
think-
he said he didn't.
I think this is a defamation trial in both.
Oh.
She's saying that he defamed. No, he's saying she defamed him. She went on to some like magazine and was like, Johnny Depp, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He's terrible. And Johnny Depp's like, that's a lie. I'm suing you. And she's like,
'Cause now I'm
well,
not gonna be
you
Jack
saying it's a
Sparrow
lie
anymore."
is a lie, so I'm suing you for that.
For saying I'm a liar and defaming me.
Yeah.
This
and-
whole time I thought it was a defecation trial.
I think
and I'm like,
it-
that's pretty cut and dry.
I think it
I
was
didn't hear
also
any
that.
poop stories from Johnny or from Amber.
I mean, Aquaman showed us a replica of her poop, so
Yeah. It was a pretty bizarre. I didn't, normally and I guess when it's only serious legal matters and it's a major thing, I tune in. On this, it was just like, oh, there's a YouTube clip I'll watch. Oh, I'm bored after 2 minutes. But
Good thing it's only 30 seconds.
yeah, but usually it seemed like kind of a circus. Like they're always
It
like
was.
laughing about things, and Johnny Depp just didn't seem to be taking it serious at all. I don't know.
like that doctor guy who was like just sat on the witness stand, or whatever, and he just like,
Oh my gosh, I saw that.
do I have to answer questions?
Yeah.
Yes, you
And
do.
one of the guys was like in his car, like
Yeah.
remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like
Vaping.
driving and something.
Vaping.
Yeah.
He like move his head out of the screen.
Yeah, so it was pretty bizarre, but thank goodness we all got to experience what it's like for a married couple to fight.
For Jack Sparrow to
I guess they're
divorce
not
a
married, they're
superhero.
divorced. Which sucks. Divorce sucks, especially when you're like famous and everyone knows about it and you're like publicly defaming each other in magazines and stuff.
I'm so cynical about this. All I can think of is why would you do that? Especially hearing the $350,000. Why is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You know-
even the $15 million to Johnny Depp is nothing. It's
10
nothing.
ten
No,
million.
but
They could
for
do a
real,
commercial.
even exactly, even with that. So then move on to what would make it worth it. Oh, if Johnny Depp had like a book deal and he released a book on the whole scenario and like his account of all of it,
Of
right?
the trial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the trial, the relationship, whatever, and he could release the book, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
Or-
millions of dollars.
Or rights to the documentary.
right.
They're probably both like, we're tired of doing movies and acting and being models and stuff. Let's just sell the rights to our story, but we got to make a story first.
We've got to defecate each other or
So-
defamate each other.
Great.
Defame each other.
Dude,
First,
desecrate.
we'll defamate each other publicly, and then we'll sue each other, and then we'll have a grand old time.
In the back, they're like business partners, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's going to be like, remember Joaquin Phoenix? How everyone thought he'd lost his mind, and it
I
was
rem-
all a joke?
I
This
remember
is just a publicity thing.
Yeah,
Crawling Phoenix.
yeah. Crawling?
Walking Phoenix. Walking, crawling.
I remember the
sprinting-
Flying
sprinting
Phoenix.
Get it?
We're so funny.
No, it's Joaquin.
I try and make
like-
really bad
Pretend
jokes.
like you're Christopher Walken and then say walking.
Christopher Crawlin Phoenix.
Walking.
I try and give bad jokes to signify we should move on,
Oh.
but it's not working today.
Well, it just equals more bad jokes.
It did today.
You're walking.
I know. I know. I got the joke,
Phoenix.
Phil. We were very familiar with the. Everyone's got a freaking impression of that
You
guy.
know,
Phil.
you're walking
Phil.
in my room. Anyway,
You're walking toward me.
yeah,
Okay.
that's how you
All
say
that.
it.
Mhm.
Jake, did you want to take a stab
I'm
at
good.
this?
I'm
Okay,
good.
good. I
Let's-
don't want to
let's move
edit
on.
anything out more than we need to.
Anyway, on to our grand topic of the evening.
Are we like 3 minutes in?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we burned right through all that.
There's something I want to
news.
mention.
Oh,
though.
yeah, go ahead.
Back on guns.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Justin Trudeau. You heard what he recently did?
He took off all his clothes and lit guns on fire in the middle of the square where the truck rally was.
Nope.
No, but
Oh.
he did take off all his clothes and he did a. Never mind.
What their parliament or whatever has now, did they make it a law? He said basically, we made it illegal to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns in Canada at all.
Wow.
I thought it was already illegal.
Apparently not.
Oh.
I
Maybe
had no idea.
maybe it's illegal for rifles or long guns.
Oh, but not
But he said
handguns?
handguns.
That's really weird. Why would you outlaw rifles first?
Yeah,
Handguns
especially
are
in
far
Canada.
more dangerous.
They-
I don't know.
Concealable.
They got grizzly bears in Canada.
Because they're scarier looking.
Rifles?
Or handguns?
Rifles.
Okay.
So therefore they're more dangerous.
Okay. Have you ever seen a Mosin de Gaunt?
What?
A Mosin de Gaunt? They're like an old military rifle. They're like this long. I got my arms stretched out like 5'6". They're these huge long rifles. They're not very scary looking.
But
Some of them are.
yes, the longer one, like AR-15s,
Yeah.
are scary, so they're more dangerous.
Okay. That makes
Right?
sense. Yeah, you can die of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So Trudeau came out and said you cannot do what?
Buy, sell, transfer, or import any handguns in Canada.
So what you got is what you got.
Yeah. Don't give it to someone or
Did he-
sell it to someone or don't buy one.
Did he say, oh, transfer was one of the words?
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
You know, apparently in Utah, if you're unfamiliar with Utah's online seller's market landscape, everywhere else in the country it's Craigslist, but in Utah it's KSL.com.
Yep.
And apparently you used to be able to buy and sell guns on KSL.
I know a little fact about that. When you could buy and sell guns on KSL, they were the number one arms dealer in the United States.
Oh, really?
Yep. And the thing was, they never were the arms dealer because it was like a classified section.
Right. Because you were just selling them to private party.
More transactions of firearms happened on that website than anywhere else in the United States.
Wow.
But they started getting some heat talking about pushing it back on KSL, and so they ended up taking it away. So they took that section of the classifieds off of it. Sorry, I hope I didn't derail your story, but
no, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was just curious as to why, and you answered my question.
Oh yeah, so basically there's threats and ideas towards like, okay, these things are being bought and sold, and the guns, they're not regulated in any way.
Yeah,
and KSL is helping it happen.
Yeah, they're facilitating the transaction. They're not even necessarily facilitating the transaction. They're just like, oh, you need a drywaller? Here's his number. It's like, oh, you need a guy that's selling a gun and you want a gun? Here's his number. That's really all they're doing.
Yeah, it's like the yellow pages for...
Or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
But what was happening is there was talk of pushing responsibility onto KSL.com to be responsible and needing to be an arms dealer and doing all these things.
So they just
cut it out,
on it,
got rid of it. The next day or the next week, there's a website up called utahguns.com or something like that instantly filled that void. Because you got to imagine, they're taking literally the largest amount of transactions of firearms in the country on this website and changing it to nothing. They got rid of everything. They
cutting
closed
it off,
all the ads, everything. So this guy popped up not a very impressive, but a very well needed.
He filled the void.
He filled the void. And I think it's called utahguns.com or something like that.
Well, and there is a website called Gunbroker, right? I don't know if you've ever been on that, but essentially anyone can get on there and sell a gun, but you have to ship it. So like if I had a gun and I wanted to sell it and some guy in California bought it, I just have to ship it to the licensed dealer in his neighborhood or whatever, and he has to go pick it up there. So the dealer's going to take a cut or whatever. I think that's how that works.
And they do a background check?
The dealer would do that, based on your state's laws.
Wait, so we have background checks on guns?
We do.
Okay. Don't act down, Jake.
Oh.
utahgunexchange.com.
Oh, it's a real thing still?
Yep, and they're huge. They're one of the biggest.
But how does it work? It's not just person to person.
It is.
Oh, you just like, hey,
Yep.
I'll buy that gun. You go to them.
So you can go on this and you're like, oh, Kevin in Taylorsville City, Utah is selling an AR, whatever. Or like, here's a Sig Sauer from this guy in Tulsa.
AR, you mean assault
Tulsa.
rifle? That's what it
Armor
stands
light.
for?
Armor light.
Or assault rifle.
So
right.
this nutbag in Tulsa can just like drive over here to Utah, buy like 30 guns from everyone in Utah.
It's called utahgunexchange.com, but it's nationwide.
Oh, okay.
I'm literally looking at it right now. Wyoming, West Valley, Utah. Obviously, a lot of them in Utah.
And people can just go on there, no background check,
Nope.
and go buy a gun from someone.
So here's an AR platform at 22 caliber. It says 1 cent. I think that might be a
Starting bid.
It might be a bid. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, you can go, $3,900 for this SR-15 in Bluffdale, Utah. So we could call the guy. You go over there, sell it to him.
See, I feel weird about you even saying that because some nutbag is listening to that and being like, "Oh."
So
I've never. What to do.
We don't have nutbags listening
never
to our show.
bought-
We know all of them.
I've never bought or
right.
sold guns on those.
That's true. It is just Jake's family and like Jeff's sister
Yeah. Hi, Kara.
And your grandma.
and my grandma.
Oh, CD listens from
Oh,
that
yeah.
one other podcast
Oh yeah.
that shall not be named.
What's up, everyone?
What's up, 6 people we just named?
Um.
But here's the thing. I've never bought and sold guns on those websites. My brother has.
Uh-huh.
And he's told me that he's had guys come to look at a gun and he just said no.
Oh,
He's
really?
like, nope, I'm not selling it to you.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But that's... Well, I don't know. What do you think about
But
the ease of buying a gun?
So
like
here's an interesting story. So my brother's friend sold a gun to a kid. He got the kid's driver's license number, wrote down his driver's license owner, wrote down his name, his address, and everything. So he had a record of who he sold it to. This is just a personal thing that he did because he's like, if someone's willing to give me their personal information, I can't imagine they're going to go use it for nefarious things, right?
Yeah.
So this kid, about 2 years later, decides to take these guns into Trolley Square and shoot people. He never actually used the gun, the revolver that this guy sold him, but he had it on him. And so they tracked down the guns,
with the intent to use
knocked on the door, said, hey, you were the last registered owner for this. What happened? He said, oh, let me pull out my records. Said, I sold it to this person on this date for this amount of money. Here's his driver's license number, whatever. And they're like, yep, that was the kid. And so it just alleviates him of all responsibility.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is it doesn't matter because in the United States, you can legally purchase and sell guns like that on the private market. It's not weird or against the law.
In some states, though, right?
I'm pretty sure it's...
Yeah,
I don't know. I just know Utah, Nevada, Idaho, surrounding states around here, pretty normal.
Yeah, you can just do
all
that.
have mass shootings all the time?
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Nope.
So anyway, more shooting, more death. I wish we could get to the bottom of it, but I guess we're just all going to be like, okay, that's how it is now.
Yep. Okay, before you get to the main topic, I have something to interject as well.
Okay.
Everyone is wondering from last week's episode, they're so, everyone's on the edge of the seat. I've had 87 emails about this and 47 voicemails on 385 Dad Zero Mug. I watched Top Gun last night.
Did you?
Yep.
The old one.
The old one, yeah.
The original. Okay.
Because I'm going to take my kids to go see the new one.
Smart move.
This week.
Yes.
So we had to see what the old one was about.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's great.
Yeah. It's a good
It's
one.
entertaining,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a classic now.
It's great. The kids loved it. My daughter is hilarious. I have a preteen daughter who was in love with Tom Cruise in Top Gun. She's like, can he just stay like that till I'm 20? That's what she said.
She will.
He will.
He will, yeah.
So at the end of the movie, we watched the previews for the next one because I'm like, this is like an old movie. So she watches the new previews, and he's standing there in one of the scenes, and she goes, oh, good, he's still cute. And isn't he like 50?
Yeah,
Was
or
that Penny?
60 or something
Yeah, it
like
was
that.
Penny.
Yeah, we were just talking about this, but he looks good, but he also looks weird, I think. Like, he looks like somebody's gone in and taped back his and remember what I was saying about plastic surgery. They just don't quite. Brad Pitt is a handsome dude, and he's older, he's aging gracefully. He's still a handsome guy. Whatever Tom Cruise is doing,
You don't like it?
He looks younger and older somehow.
I got to be honest with you, and I don't know if it's just his height, but Tom Cruise always looks a little off to me. And I swear, one of the thoughts I had was it's because of his height and the way they film things with him.
Yeah.
He looks slightly off, like in Top Gun, there's a lot of angles you can tell to make him look a little bit taller.
Yeah.
And it hits his teeth funny, and you're like, dude, what's up with his teeth?
Right up his nose.
It's like you're used to seeing teeth at a certain angle, and then you see it at a slightly different angle, and you're like, man, something's off with his teeth. What's happening there?
No, I did see a picture of him standing next to Jennifer Connelly, and I was thinking, I swear she's taller than him.
She probably is.
And I don't know if that's true, but
But in the photo, it was not.
it looked like he was taller, but you could tell they propped him up or something. Who was the other actor they did that with? I'm trying to remember.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Jack
He's
Black.
Dwayne Johnson's only 5'2", is what I heard.
Oh yeah, and he's only
Kevin Hart said that.
180.
Yeah, they had to film it so that Kevin Hart didn't look all super tall compared to him.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Jumanji?
Yeah.
But there was some movie. It was a famous
All that was
movie.
a joke, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dwayne
I was
Johnson's
wow.
like
He's
I thought he was
wait, what?
6.5 feet.
he's 17 feet tall in real world. No, he's really tall.
I was
can't remember.
he does a good job making himself look a foot taller.
He's just 4'2" and 800 pounds of muscle.
He's an actual midget. Dwayne, The
Little
Rock
people.
is an actual
Little person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dwarf.
Sorry.
But no, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna go see it.
I think I'm going to see it this weekend. A little celebration for my kids getting out of school and passing their classes and being good kids.
Yeah, it should be a good time. I hear really good things about it. It's got really good reviews. For if nothing else, just seeing all the like practical flying that they do in it, like
the realistic
instead of CGI, it's
we had a little bit of an argument. The actors didn't actually fly the planes, right?
No, but they are actually in the planes. They're
trained.
They're behind the pilot,
right?
And the camera's set up like somehow right on the back of the pilot's head. So they're in the plane actually
doing
like
the things,
getting thrown around, yeah.
Right.
And but in the movie, apparently the perception is they're flying.
Does Tom Cruise have a pilot's license? Because I saw a video of James Corden, is that his name?
Oh,
the British Tonight Show or late night goat show guy. Tom Cruise took him up in a plane and flew him around.
Number one search popped up. Does Tom Cruise fly jets? The short answer is yes. Tom Cruise.
The long answer is no.
The long answer is you're up in the night. It returns as Maverick and blah, blah, blah. The short answer is yes. I don't know. That's as far as I'm going to read.
Okay, great. Thanks.
That's according to theinternet.com.
He's also making another Mission
actual
Impossible, I saw. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah. There's another Mission Impossible coming out. A part 1.
He's 59?
Yeah. Almost 60
cow.
is what I said.
Well, I didn't realize it was 59.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about Tom Cruise.
Okay, sorry.
On to our topic of the evening, which is a downer, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
What?
It's kind of how you feel when you drink too much soda after eating too much popcorn. Bloated or like inflated.
Inflation?
Hot air balloons.
Yeah. Hot air balloons.
Story about
Me
balloons.
trying to go backpacking in a week.
The Hindenburg.
Jeff trying to go backpacking. Inflation. We're talking about inflation.
Okay.
Because it's going to be...
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Because you're inflated. Because you eat a lot.
You feel like...
And inflation is like...
When you swallow Pop Rocks and Sprite.
Yeah.
and Mentos.
Mentos and...
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
So I was at I may have mentioned this to you guys, but I went to Fresh Market.
He's going to complain about bacon.
The other day.
On Sunday.
And I bought a large box of instant rice or minute rice, whatever it's called.
Oh, I'm so mad that you bought that.
It's a large one at a grocery store.
Uh-huh.
How much do you think I paid for it?
The box of instant rice bags.
No, just the box with the rice in it.
The red and blue box?
Yeah, the red
name
box
brand one?
minute rice. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to get upset at you that you purchased minute rice. Why don't you just buy regular rice?
I do that too, but every once in a while,
I freaking hate you.
every once in a while, I'm like, I need rice now.
In a minute.
Usually for breakfast. Like
I don't
if
want to
I'm
wait
making like
For
14,
breakfast?
14 minutes.
yeah, like a Japanese omelet. You ever make one of those?
I don't.
Oh, they're
Sounds
delicious.
actually pretty sweet. Okay, price of that. I'm gonna guess how big is it? Are we talking Costco or are we talking?
No, not Costco. Probably half Costco.
So I'm gonna say $7.21.
It was like $8.80.
That's crazy.
I was going to guess $1.
Bob.
No, but like 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been literally like $2.99
Yeah.
at the same place. So it's more than doubled in price. That's 100% inflation from just a couple of years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So where do you think those costs come from? Did rice change by that much? The packaging, the manufacturing, the shipping? I'm going to keep listing things.
So
Hold
let
on.
me
Please don't interrupt.
Let me add some sugar to this recipe.
Are you going to tell us about the prices of sugar now?
So when I went to Costco shortly after, maybe a day or two, I'm like, how much is their even bigger box? And guess how much it was?
Not $12.42.
It was like $5.99.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what was the first store you were at? Macy's?
Fresh Market.
Oh, Fresh Market. Okay.
Yeah, in Provo.
Okay.
So initially I'm like, man, I'm never shopping at Fresh Market again. But then I'm kind of realizing there's got to be a major problem going on.
Do you want me to tell you what my thought is? Costco controls their... Well, I already started. Costco controls their supply chain a lot more.
Yeah.
Fresh Market does not.
Right.
They rely on other people and their other supply chains and third parties to ship their stuff. When I've seen the same thing with Winco, which is a local place here. It's company owned and operated, but they have their own distribution centers. They have their own shipping systems and whatever. Costco, Winco, some of these other places have better logistics set up, and that's the bottom line. They're not being hit as hard because a lot of it is gas and shipping costs and third-party handling and labor and stuff like that they're really running into with the price increase.
Yeah.
You know,
What I worry about is that if that is the case and these really large companies are able to keep their prices down, and I'm assuming that Fresh Market can't. I'm assuming its prices are climbing because it has to. Maybe they are price gouging, like Biden says, oh, these companies are just gouging people. I think that's very unlikely.
I don't. I think it's likely.
You think they are doing it?
Yeah, because let's just use your rice as an example. Price legitimately goes up because of supply chain shortages. Let's say it started at $3, it capped out at $10. I know that's crazy, but $3 to $10. But then what's going to happen is then the shortage isn't so bad, but they realize, wow, people are still buying this crap at $10. Well, let's bring the price back down, but we're only going to bring it down to like $7.
Yeah.
They could bring it down to $3 again or $4
because they were
but they're going to
profiting
keep
just
it at
fine at that
$7.
price.
They'll keep it at $7 because they realized, oh, our sales went down by 12% when the price went high on it, but we can literally double the price of the item and we still make more money on it. And I don't know if that's price gouging or just smart business.
See, I just don't think if that is the case, though, they would lose business immediately.
No,
like me, for example, I bought that one time, but then as soon as I saw that somewhere else is way cheaper, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to buy it there, which means a lot of people are going to be doing that.
Do you ever shop at Harmon's?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
everything there is more expensive than other places.
Right.
So why do you go there?
But I don't go there to buy minute rice. I go there for like fresh produce and meat and stuff like that.
I understand what you're saying, but my point is that people go to different stores for different reasons. It's not just because of the price. And if it was always because of the price, then everyone would go to the same places all the time.
Yeah.
They don't. I used to take, when my kids were very little, I'd take them to Harmon's literally because the environment was a lot more chill. It wasn't so crazy. It wasn't like Walmart or Costco or where the environment was very crazy. I would take these little tiny kids to Harmon's because I could put them in a cart and they would stay calm and chill, and I could walk them down aisles and grocery shop without them freaking out. It was a weird thing that would happen, but
that is weird.
I would spend more money to get into like a more clean environment that didn't have toys knocked all over the place, and you know what I mean? It was really weird. But I'll give you another example. I guarantee someone goes to that grocery store you're just bagging on for $7 a box because it's the closest place for them. They can't travel to another grocery store because whatever, they walked there, whatever. There's a million reasons probably why. Maybe they're just familiar with it.
Yeah,
you know?
no, and this Fresh Market it's never been the cheapest place in town, but it's never been that stark of a difference.
Right.
Compared to other things.
How much you say it was at the other place?
It was like
$5.
It was like $5.50 at Costco for a
huge
for one that was probably twice the size
as the $8.50 one.
$8.50 at Fresh Market.
Same brand? No, Kirkland brand probably at Costco.
No, I think it was Minute Rice, both brands. And here's the other weird thing I've noticed is the off brands, Kroger or whatever, are becoming the same price as the name brands in a lot of things. And that's really weird.
Yeah, I've noticed the discrepancy between the two is at least smaller.
Yeah.
Like you could get a refried beans Great Value brand for only like 10 cents less than a can of refried beans Frito-Lay or whatever the the big brand is.
Taco Bell. They actually have their own
They
brand.
do have Taco Bell refried beans.
Never eaten them.
Anyway, this woman, what's her face? She's the
Jill Biden,
Secretary of the Treasury or whatever. A couple months ago was like, oh, inflation's not going to be a big deal. It's going to start going down. Well, she just came out in the last day or two and said, "Oh, I was way wrong."
Psych.
Yeah,
She admitted to being wrong.
she sure did.
That's good.
Which is worrying because if things are getting bad enough and obvious enough that even our government can't play it down and say,
Even
"Oh,
politicians, the professional liars, can't lie about it.
yeah," then
They can't say, "Look at this hand here," while the other hand is like,
right.
Playing with their peanut. What?
"What? They're peanuts."
Peanuts in the
It's the circus.
Yep.
It's the summertime.
Yep.
Peanuts, circus peanuts.
circus peanuts.
Like
Those are
China's the funnest example, right? Because
oh yeah.
remember when they would be like, the smog was super bad in Shanghai, and they put out like an op-ed in their version of the New York Times, and it's like 10 reasons why the smog is a good thing. And like reason number 1 was like, it brings us together because we're all talking about it, or something like that.
Oh
Like,
my, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing, yeah.
Snipers can't shoot you from a long distance.
Right.
It's not funny, Jake.
No, but that's how I feel like our government has been lately. Like something will happen, something will be bad, something will appear to be bad, but it just like it's almost like gaslighting. It's like they're
10 reasons why high gas prices are wonderful. You
Yeah.
get to stay home with your family.
Right.
Exactly.
Parker Brothers is selling more board games than they usually do.
Right. But it's looking pretty grim, stark, pretty.
All of
Shitty.
those.
Yeah. Pretty much all the projections now is that we're heading into a recession. Just a slow, gradual slide down the muddy hill. And is there anything we can do to get out? Like if they changed something in the policies they were doing, if people change something about the way we buy things, like is there any way we can stop it, or does it just have to happen?
I don't feel like there's a lot we can do,
Yeah.
like really effective at this point. And I hate to say that because what the hell? Like I hate not being in control of what's going on in my life, right? But what can we do? I mean, you can be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not Mormon, but the LDS Church definitely promotes like being self-sufficient with food for a certain amount of days. Being debt-free is a good idea because those are extra expenses that if you have to clamp down on some things, like maybe it's a good idea to not have to have like $1,000 in credit card payments, you know?
Yeah.
I think those are decent pieces of advice. Get out of debt if you can. I know that sounds easier said than done, especially when you're looking right at the end of like a cliff. If we're going to fall off a cliff, like it's in sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get out of debt somehow, go for it. Sell your Tesla stock or whatever you've been hanging on to and pay those MasterCards off. And, put some food aside.
Yeah.
So that in the instance that you can't get some food, you can still feed yourself and your kids and maybe even take care of your neighbor. I think the community needs to come together and be less strangers and be able to work things out together and help each other. Maybe start with that. Get some good relations with people around you. I'm solving the world right now.
You did it, Jeff. Thanks.
Yep. See you next week.
Who
Bye.
cares what our government does? Just put us in 1,000 recessions, government, because we have food storage, and we're all happy together.
I hate to oversimplify, but really think about that. Like, let's pretend like everyone on your whole street lost their job, but you could all come together and figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bet you could.
Yeah.
You could work with people that helped your immediate to, stay warm in the winter, to stay productive, to get a farm going or something like that. I don't know. That sounds really weird, but you wouldn't be living the same lifestyle you are now.
Yeah.
But
It's honestly my wife's dream to live in like a small community where like everyone like breastfeeds each other's babies and like
that's the weirdest thing to say as the first thing. Like you could have led up to that a little bit. Like everyone shares cars and food, takes care of each other's kids and breastfeeds. Like let's start a list and then say that one.
No, because we've been watching that show Under the Banner of Heaven.
Oh, really?
And these crazy guys that murdered people, they're like exploring all these polygamous sects like all over the country.
Sects.
Sects.
With the C, yes.
And they like go into them and they're like so happy. They're like, this community is wonderful. And it's like kind of how we're describing. Like people are like helping each other. Everyone's smiling.
Breastfeeding each other, right?
Yeah, the women are like really loose with their bodies and
Wait.
See here,
Wait.
Phil, you need
No,
to ease into some of these statements.
I have to explain this scene to you that we just watched because I could not.
Kids
stop
are playing in the
laughing.
streets. Women's are strippers. All the
So
things.
this guy, I think his name is Dan Lafferty or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and he goes up to Oregon or something, and I don't know if this is true or not, but where it goes can't possibly be true, but maybe it is. He goes to this community, and that's kind of what I'm describing. The women in the community are like coming up to him and like caressing him and kissing him on the neck and stuff as like polygamous community, and he's like, oh, I could get used to this. The next scene, they're sitting in a hot tub, and everyone looks to be undressed under the water, apparently. Anyway, they're like talking, and this prophet guy is like telling him about this gospel stuff, and then he's like, just out of the blue, he's like, can I baptize you? And he's like, okay. And so he baptizes him right there in the hot tub, and then they start making out.
him and the guy?
Him and the guy, like right after.
So you got rid of all the sins and instantly start committing.
More sins.
I could
Sins.
not stop laughing. It was so absurd.
Is this story a comedy?
The Lafferty.
It apparently
it's
is.
The Lafferty
yeah.
Oh, it's the
Files.
Lafferty. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
Comic.
Netflix special.
The guy that started the comedy club in Salt Lake, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Jim
it.
Lafferty, the Lafferty club.
Anyway, we can't stop watching the show because anything to do with Mormons we're like so fascinated. Like
yeah.
like seeing like real actors play like Mormons. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
That's funny.
there's some things in it that are just like
Absurd.
beyond absurd. To try and get some clicks or likes or whatever they're doing. But anyway,
That's crazy.
segue. So community full of people who love each other sounds good, as long as you're not getting baptized in hot tubs
And making out
and
with
making
other
out
dudes.
with dudes right after.
Unless that's what you're into,
Yeah.
then you're probably
Yeah,
not Mormon.
I want to start a CSA garden in my neighborhood
What?
and have
What does CSA stand
Is-
for?
community supported agriculture, I
Oh.
think.
Oh, okay.
Where basically a neighborhood garden
Yeah.
where I find a plot of land, advertise to the neighborhood, hey, do you want to essentially adopt a garden bed? And
Yeah.
I'll build raised beds for them and they put soil in it and they can plant their stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to get people to be more garden minded.
That's
So
a-
you guys
yeah.
seem like more excited about a recession, like that it's going to bring communities together. that
I'm-
crime's not going to rise.
I am
and-
not joking in the slightest. That I said this last week or the week before that I think it would be wonderful if there's a massive solar flare that just murdered all electronics.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say due to this recession, all three of us lose our employment and are unemployed for
That'd be impossible.
approximately 6 months. I'm just saying maybe it would.
Okay, lost all of our income.
Lost
For
all
how
of our
long?
income.
6 months.
6 months.
We'd start a communion and we'd all start breastfeeding.
Oh, okay.
And making out with guys in the hot tub.
yeah.
Yeah,
But how would we pay for the hot water?
doesn't matter.
Fire.
Oh, okay.
Wood.
We would boil
Burn.
hot water.
Burn wood.
Yeah, I've thought about this. Like if everyone lost their job and no one can pay mortgages.
It would just reset.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like I hate to say it, but and banks and stuff don't want you to think about it this way. But let's pretend like there's something so massive that everyone lost their job. Let's say a Great Depression.
Yeah.
What benefit does the bank? Let's say the bank has 100 houses. And I know this is stupid, but I'm just doing easy math. Let's say they have 100 houses under their belt.
Right.
And you can add as many zeros to that as you want. Out of these 100 houses, let's say something is so catastrophic that 65 of those people can't pay their bills anymore. So they're left with 45 people, 40 whatever people paying bills, 35. how much sense does it make to remove those 65 people from their house and take their houses? The houses are worthless.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying for them. The bank's factually losing. They're probably the ultimate, because they're the one that put the money out there to purchase those properties anyways. So unless they're sitting pretty enough to kind of float this whole situation out until it can sell again, they're not doing too good either.
Yeah.
And I think that's what there's an interesting I had a friend who was in a financial pickle, we'll say, where he was losing his house. He was like 4 or 5 months behind on his rent.
Yeah.
And
Mortgage.
On his mortgage. And the bank called him and said, "You've got a serious problem, Mr. Smith." I'm making the name up. "Mr. Smith, you have a serious problem. You're 4 months behind on your mortgage." And he, you know what his response was? "I think you guys are one with the problem, because I'm not paying my mortgage." Like, think about it. They're the ones that are not. They're the ones that are suffering.
Yeah,
they're the ones that put their neck out there and gave
who's
you
hurting? The people
X
not
amount of dollars.
losing money, or the people not getting the money?
Yeah.
Because there's some weird laws out there that, and especially during COVID, and those laws got even weirder, where you can stay living in your house without paying for it for way longer than I ever imagined.
Yeah.
A year, years even.
Yeah.
You to get to the point where you physically have to be removed from your property
Yep.
is years.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to evict somebody.
And not just evict them, like a mortgage company, like it's way difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, if in this circumstance, the government would step in, and like if millions of people lost their jobs, the government would step in and say, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 2 years.
See, I wonder though if that is sustainable, because that's what they've already done.
Oh,
right?
no, it's not. They did it during COVID.
That's
It's
what I
not
mean.
sustainable at all.
That's what I mean, because they've come in and that's what's driving this inflation up. And so in theory, more people start losing their jobs. They say, "Oh, you can't evict people now." You're eroding faith in that system, which further drives inflation. It means the dollar is now worth less. So if they come in and say, "Oh, you can't evict people," well, that's great, but maybe now your house is worthless. You know what I mean? Like,
This is what it all comes down to. An individual is their own source of security. And I mean financial security, stability, everything. It comes from the individual and their ability to create and do things.
yeah,
I never worry about myself, because I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to be a bagger if I had to. I'm willing to be a framer if I have to. I will pour concrete. I will learn how to do something on the computers. I will drive a truck. I will do whatever it takes to make things happen, right? And I know I can sell myself and make myself valuable to everyone. The truth is, whether the market's high or the market's low, the amount of jobs may change, but like, really, let's look at this. Let's pretend like a lot of people lost their jobs. Certain people are never going to lose their job. There's certain trades out there that are always in demand.
yeah,
Okay. And I realized this when my brother-in-law went to Detroit, which is basically like, at the time was like third world country. There's so many people gone from Detroit. His boss had a business. Literally the entire business was him going around boarding up buildings.
yeah,
And then people would take the boards down and go in and squat in there. And their job was to show up and put the boards back. And they put the boards back. This is like the worst economy. And he said he made so much money doing that. And all he had was a box of screws, a circular saw, and a whole bunch of plywood.
yeah,
And you just drive around boarding up buildings. And he made a boatload of money doing it.
yeah.
So as long as you're willing to do what it takes and move and be able to, manipulate your environment to you, why not?
I hope so. I hope things work out and everything is good. It's kind of a weird experiment, because I don't think at any time in history, and I could be wrong about this, but has there been another time in history where a government or a king or somebody like told its people they can't work and generate industry and income, and what the fallout of that was?
I can't think of any.
Could be. Could be pretty gnarly.
Yep.
But we'll find out right here on American.
CNN. No.
Oh, CNN.
CNN Plus.
Were you going to say something, Jake?
No. I
Oh.
was not.
Before we close, I'm going to do the Phil Learns to Cook segment because we brought up Japanese omelets. If you've never made a Japanese omelet, they're pretty fun. But you make some rice and mix in some cooked, some sautéed onions and peppers, sausage, whatever breakfast stuff you like. And they actually, I think, squirt a little bit of ketchup or soy sauce in with the rice and mix it up. But then they make like a tornado omelet, and these are really fun to make. You like pour a little oil or butter in your omelet pan and get it a little bit hotter than you normally would do an omelet. You pour in your egg. I like to mix a little milk in. You can use sour cream. Pour that in, and then immediately, like it'll start bubbling because it's a little hotter than normal. And you take they use chopsticks, but I've never got it to work. I use 2 like little silicone spatulas. And from the outside, I press down and squeeze toward the center and then kind of twist the pan and the things, and it makes like a tornado as you twist. Yeah. And you only need to do it. It only takes like 10, 15 seconds, and then you flip that thing over. It's like the quickest omelet you've ever made. But then you like slowly like kind of pour that thing out over your cup of, you like scoop a cup of rice, so it's all tight together, put it on your plate. And then you put that omelet thing like right over the top. It's real good.
That's cool. I just can't really imagine eating rice for breakfast.
All you have to do is Google.
Live in Korea or Philippines for 2 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's actually really good. In the Philippines, they would make like corned beef and rice and like a fried egg and like hot dogs or something. It was a really good meal.
I know the Islanders will do Spam, eggs, and rice.
Yeah.
It's common.
Something like that.
I'm not saying it's uncommon. I can't stomach rice that early.
Oh, it's really good, especially with like banana ketchup.
That's good stuff.
If you ever go to an Asian market, pick up some banana ketchup. It's a Philippine favorite. But anyway, good time.
I do want to bring up one fact checked. I don't know how words work. From last week's episode. So I had said that you cannot take a firearm into a public school. It's a gun-free zone. I was incorrect about that.
Oh.
You can't open carry, I think, but if you have your concealed carry permit, you can take a gun into the schools.
Oh, so in Utah, you can carry anywhere but a school.
Anywhere.
Oh.
Except for, I think, government buildings.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's listed outside that you cannot carry, then you're not supposed to. But people with this was the point that was fact checked was specifically schools. If you have a concealed carry permit, you can take a gun into the school concealed.
Oh.
So there you go.
And quote unquote gun-free zones usually are like movie theaters are known for being places where you can't carry. That's not law, right? It's essentially a rule created by. They could kick you out, but they can't punish you.
Yeah,
right?
it's a
if you do
private
carry
property
in there.
situation.
Yeah.
It's like your house. You could just say, dude, you can't carry a gun in here, and
Right.
you need to leave. It'd be the same thing.
You couldn't be criminally punished for carrying in a private area,
Yeah.
but at least I don't think so, right? Just because someone says so, that doesn't make it law.
I think the best way to say this is go look it up.
Right.
If anyone tuned into this podcast thinking we're experts, we're not. But shout out to Ches and CD from Messing with Mormons. They corrected me on that one.
Oh.
And there was a hefty punishment involved. So I'm sorry, guys.
Oh. Well, thanks, somebody, for saying
Punishment
something about...
involved for you saying that? They
Yeah,
punished
for
you?
giving out false data on our podcast
Oh.
to millions of
I'm
listeners.
glad someone finally called us out, because I feel like we just say whatever we want with
It needs
no
to happen.
consequence.
It needs to happen a lot more.
Yeah,
I feel like we're wrong a lot more than we think we are.
Oh.
Guaranteed.
No, I know that we are wrong most of the time.
Can we have a disclaimer at the beginning of this? Like,
No.
listen up, peeps. These guys are dumb.
No, I want
We
to...
don't know what we're talking about. We didn't do our research.
We're literally... just so the listener knows, here's how we prepare. One person out of the three of us will prepare, and the other two have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, we just walk in and we're like, cool, so is Phil going to bring up Thor?
Yeah.
Or is he going to bring up mass shootings?
And,
I have no idea.
And did he research what he's talking
Probably
about? Or
not.
did he just show up and start talking?
I've done episodes where I've hosted where I literally read the title, and I'm like, that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Exactly. But our conversations are real as ever.
They really are.
Yeah. They really real. Get it?
You are such a poet.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the American Forked podcast. Find us on Patreon, Twitter, GoDaddy,
Nope. Nope.
Walmart. Walmart?
ExxonMobil.
Exxon.
Nestle Quick.
Nestle Quick. Anyway, find us anywhere you find podcasts.
Minute Rice?
Like us, subscribe to us. Go to our Patreon page where you will hear some weirdo music posted most weeks, and have a good time writing this recession out that I just declared started now.
That was my wallet.
A
It
moth
creaks
flew
when
out.
there's no money in
A
there.
moth flew out of it.